follow us on Instagram at KBLA 1580.
Follow the leader.
Are you ready?
The station leading the way with exclusive interviews,
Follow the leader.
stimulating conversation, and intellectual discourse that empowers, enlightens, and informs.
Follow the leader.
Follow the leader at KBLA 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Keep following the leader.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
She from the ATLA reps on 6 folks from Cascade. Learned how to skate when she was in first grade. Went to Clark, ain't graduate. Moved up out of Buckhead to escape the city. Breakfast at Bonnie, she's so ratchet, yeah, she's so sedated. She be outside, but stay out the way at the same time. Working on her body down in Lifetime. Her new probably a drug dealer. She say that she love him, but never posts his picture. Yeah, I can tell by the way that she twerk. She from round here, I gotta pull up on her. Every time I'm down here, I try to get her to move to LA, but she say that she can't. My little baddie's such a A-town girl. Yeah, she be riding in a foreign, but she hate to drive. It's alright, I got an A-town girl. She keep a blicky on her just in case somebody try. It's on site, shawty's an A-town.
Shout out to Usher, this A-Town Girl from his new album. Shout out to Billy Joel, the OG, which this is not a sample. What is this? Is this an interlope? What is it? When they take, so the chorus from Billy Joel is Uptown Girl. So he's taking that, what is that called when they do that? Because it's not a sample. He's re-singing it and reworking it. Is that considered an interlope? I'm not sure either. So technical. But anyway, Uptown Girl, Billy Joel, his wife, Christy Brinkley, at the time, was in the video. And it's a classic video from the 80s. Big MTV things. Shout out to them. So you were locked into hour 3 of RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. And of course, we're going to get into some Usher because, you know, Andy is always on theme. And we're going to talk about his current trip. He's on vacation right now in Bali and why some social media users are upset with him. But before we get into that, you know, Nicki Minaj started her tour on Friday, her worldwide tour with Monica opening. And there is already a little bit of controversy. So she performed Friday, March 1st in Oakland. And of course, people started sharing the different footage from the show. And she performed her song, FTCU. We were just talking about it. And in the clip, there's one portion that looks to be ripped from a viral TikTok video that a guy named Dante Coley made up. You know, people are always making up little 1-2 steps for people's songs and hoping that it goes viral and becomes a challenge and all of that. Well, Miss Minaj and her choreographers snatched a bit of that section and dropped it into the routine, right? And Dante came forward and confirmed that those were his moves. And he said, unfortunately, he was never properly compensated for his work. And the video was shared to TikTok. It has $1.3 million views. He said, thank you so much for those of you that shared and tagged me in this. I was reached out to by a member of Nicki Minaj's team, but I wasn't paid for this. I was just looking, and he said he wasn't after payment either. He said he was just looking for an opportunity to potentially collaborate and receive credit, and neither one of those options seemed possible and have been rejected. However, Nicki Minaj's camp said, not so fast. They have a completely different version of events. And Casper Smart, who's the creative director of Nicki's tour, took to Twitter yesterday and said, please stop spreading false narratives. We offered to pay him as a choreographer, even though it was less than 10 seconds of choreo that we altered. Also, we offered him tickets to the show in his hometown, plus a meet and greet. He declined all of this and demanded a shout out and to get on stage and perform with Nicki. Well, someone asked why not just hire Dante to dance on stage with them because they're using his moves. And Casper followed up and said, because he's not booked as a dancer, just like all 8 choreographers do not go on stage and dance with Nicki. So have him run on stage and dance for exactly 5 seconds, then run off, get wardrobe for him to match. Dance, lighting, video, effects, staging has all been rehearsed for months. So people didn't like Casper's response. They felt it was a little smart. And they continued to call out Nicki for seemingly allowing her team to take from another creative. Now, what I will say is this. If they offered a meet and greet and to shout him out, and she did shout him out on her Twitter, I don't know. It's like 5 seconds and a real quick zhush. Like, people are taking it too far. No, you should not get taken advantage of, but at the same time, be for real. Be for real. You were doing something creative off of her song. It's a small part. And, I mean, if there's not a price point that you wanted, you said it wasn't, but they shouted you out, like, I don't know, just be for real. Did you just want to go on stage in your hometown? Something is amiss here. I don't feel like he's been taken advantage of, but maybe I'm wrong in this. Fahima in the chat says, I will say again, allow these young people to do their thing just like we did ours. 100%. I feel that way. I recognize that everything is not for me, and I am okay with that. That is the problem that I feel like a lot of people have in this current era. They think if I don't like it, it should not exist. And that is simply not true. You can change the station. You can bypass whatever item you don't want to read about. And I don't know why we don't do more of that instead of not wanting something to exist seemingly because it doesn't match up with our palate. By the same token, just because you like something doesn't mean it's good. I've liked some good and terrible stuff just because it was entertaining. Do you know what I'm saying? But I am not going to all of a sudden try and make it a barometer of taste when I know something isn't maybe as, artistically together as it should be, but it's just something I enjoy. Andy?
I see this all over entertainment, though, right? We talk sports a little bit. We're talking about today's kids. We just had the All-Star game. They don't care about the All-Star game anymore, right? There's no competition. The NFL, they have their Pro Bowl game. They're playing flag football nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I was on, I don't know what podcast I was watching, but they were talking about how, like, movies aren't even like what it used to be. The epicness of going to see whatever movie ain't there no more. So, I just see it all across all forms of entertainment that it just seems as if everything has been done already. There's not that the megastar, the superstar,
dead.
It doesn't really exist anymore.
Done.
I guess we can blame social media for that, right?
I think we're overexposed. I think that we have too much access to our celebrities. That's why, which may not be a bad thing to, more level it. But I think the adverse effect that we have had is that now everyone believes themselves to be a celebrity. People are no longer satisfied with an average life or an average existence. Everyone wants to be extraordinary. Everyone wants it to be photo shoot, epic birthday, $5,000 birthday dinner that one guy paid for, mwah, foreign. And it's just not realistic. And I think people don't, again, you want people to dream. You want them to have aspirations. But I think people aren't reasonable with themselves, When we come forward, we're going to have more trending topics and headlines. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007, they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You were locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So Terry in the chat says, are all entertainers as maybe you mean pitiful, as this dancer? I think people see, look at Risa Tisa from the 50-part Who the F Did I Marry TikTok saga, right? 1 minute, she's telling her story on TikTok. The next minute, she's on Tamron Hall. She's sitting down with Robin Roberts at Good Morning America. And now she's signed to CAA. I'm not sure if she's signed as a personality, as a writer, storyteller. I'm not sure, but all from a TikTok. She now has, some people come to Hollywood and been working for half their life. She got in a matter of a week because she told a story of how she got dogged out. And I am not, kudos to her, take over, rock out, do what you do. But the point in me saying that is why someone like the dancer is like, hey, I want to be on stage. I want to be seen. I don't care about the money. I just need the clout to be able to say, not just Nicki Minaj did my dance. No, I got to 1-2 step with Nicki Minaj doing my dance. And here's the reality. The way that we are set up now, he might not be wrong in that could ultimately lead to more for him than just her saying, shout out to you. I mean, it all can. It all can work if you know how to work your jelly, right? But that is why people always want to get credit because we've seen a lot of theft, a lot of creative theft go on, especially from black creatives. But, clout is worth a lot. And, shout out to him, I guess, for trying to get it. So listen, we know 50 of the Power and BMF franchises. Like I said, we'll have some interviews from the cast of BMF coming up later this week. Well, 50 has announced that he is releasing his first book. It's considered a heist thriller. It's called The Accomplice. And he said that he wanted to bring a big heist story to the page. So it is his debut fiction novel. There will be a follow-up series, naturally. And I'm sure after that, create your own IP. So then you can then create TV and movies from your own IP. So I'm sure that's coming, but it is a series attached to the book. So the story of The Accomplice centers on Nia Robinson, an FBI agent in the robbery division, and she has personal reasons for wanting to join the agency. Her father, one of the first black men to achieve an executive banking position within his organization, was accused and later convicted of embezzlement. And according to the, breakdown, Robinson is determined to clear her father's name and put away the real robbery mastermind. So, excuse me, that is what 50's first book is about, and it's been compared to NBC's Prime Suspect and Netflix Money Heist series, and it's going to be released September 3rd, and of course, 50T said it's coming to the big screen, like I said. So, let the games begin. 50 is going to do what 50 does, right? And that is continue to put out a lot of stuff. All right, now social media. Usher was just everybody's boyfriend, everybody's favorite, everybody's star. And now social media is so disappointed and upset with Usher. And the reason why is that Usher is currently on vacation, I guess in Bali. Maybe it's a honeymoon. We know he just got married. February 11th. Shout out to him and his wife. And we know that Russell Simmons has been living in Bali for the past few years, presumably dodging the civil lawsuits that have been rallied at him, accusing him of various degrees of sexual assault and harassment from former employees, right? So he shared several images of Usher visiting him and thanked him for being a longtime supporter of his, even during a time when a lot of individuals were no longer being supportive of him. And social media, it showed them doing yoga and various, spiritual cleansing looking activities in Bali. And so some of the comments on social media are like, now Usher, so disappointed in you. After the Super Bowl, you follow it up with this. This person says, Simply Simone, after having one of the best years in his career, making history at the Super Bowl and announcing a major career tour, Usher screwed it all up going to Bali and chilling with Russ. And they're just mad. They're angry. It says, I knew the day would come when Usher would publicly embarrass and disappoint me. But right now, like, you're for real, dead ass, etc., etc. And so the question asked is Usher wrong? Should he, at the very least, have read the room and not publicly put it to his social media? I should say it appears that Russ put it out first and then Usher followed suit. But do you think that Russell perhaps was trying to get a little bit of attention because Usher is in such good favor right now and kind of take on a look at me approach and look who's still my friend. People are saying that what happened to Usher's team? Did he fire them all at the end of the Super Bowl or something? Because it is not a good look in light of the allegations that are hanging over Russell's head. We know that just as recently as November, another lawsuit was issued against him. And, you know, people are feeling like if Usher cared about people, women, the way that he says he does, he would stay away and wouldn't be in support of Russell Simmons. Although, though accused, nothing has been litigated in court, and they are all, granted, you know, quite a few. Drew Dixon is one of the women that has sued Russell, amongst others. And so that's where it is. Prester John in the chat says, I think Russell rents out a portion of his property as a boutique spa resort. He might, but the question is still, knowing that he is persona non grata for a lot of people, especially in theory, people that would be considered Usher fans. You know, and Usher has largely, even in all of this, as his name has come up in various things, he has largely escaped the ridicule of someone like Meek Mill, although Meek sets himself up as a target and continues to go on. He's been tweeting all day today. He's admitted that he has a social media addiction. He also says that he is going to hire an investigator and look into all of these black celebrity figures that are trying to be positive, that are being targeted by social media and the internet. That anytime someone is trying to be black and positive, social media is trying to take them down, the people that can't be controlled. Way to change the narrative, Meek. Way to change the narrative. What do you mean that's what you're saying, Andy? You agree with him, or you think he's switching up the narrative?
He's trying to change the narrative, and it's just like, bro, just address what's being alleged. That's it. It just feels like you're trying to, skate around the whole situation. Let me go ahead and go crazy on Twitter. You feel me? I know I just dropped the EP, so you guys can focus on that instead of the allegations.
I definitely think that he is trying to switch up the conversation. Here's the thing, though, that is tricky with so many of these things, right? And it's something that I mentioned with Monique as well. He's not wrong that black celebrities are being targeted. We talked about this a few weeks ago, by AI channels on YouTube and spreading false information. And actually that, even though all of this is happening with Diddy has been the subject of some of these false rumors on social media. So it's not untrue. However, that has little to nothing to do with this suit that was filed, because that is not AI generated, and that is not someone, that individual could be making up facts. We don't know, according to Diddy's lawyers, he is, but it's not the same thing. Andrew Schultz, he did a show in Philly, I think last night or recently, and he made a joke, something about Meek Mill being gay, and Meek Mill retweeted it and was like, now this was funny, I can laugh at that, but any of you people walk up to me on the street and say that, and I got something for you, and it's like, okay, Meek, we get it, you're not gay, we get it, we heard you say how you take down the women that come around you, we heard you say ask about you, we got it, but grow up, man, let it go, or let the courts legislate it. Like, you are not going to win this battle with the internet. And I feel like you know that, and you've been here before. And don't you remember how you tweeted yourself out of position during all of that with Drake and back to back? It's happening again. When you could just be quiet. Brother Alfonso in the chat says, friendships are individualized and Russell has not been convicted of anything. I agree with you wholeheartedly, but where we are right now, it's not that simple. People think you should immediately disassociate yourself. I mean, you think about this. A couple of months ago, Naomi Campbell was celebrating her birthday in London with Diddy and Janet Jackson and Mary J. Blige. Those photos quietly came down off of her Instagram when Cassie's first suit came out. You know, we haven't heard Mary say anything. And again, what is she supposed to say? My friend, none of us know what someone could do away from us behind closed doors. So you can't speak to that. But we are definitely at a time where people feel as though if someone is accused of something, you immediately have to distance yourself just with the accusation. And we know that that's not considered friendship, but then people are also like, smoke fire. These accusations, these type of things have been floating around these individuals for quite some time. And if you are still standing in lockstep with them, some people believe, it is because you are either in agreement with their behavior, you have conducted yourself in the same manner, or something along those lines. And that is why people want to see them split. Kendi says, you don't see anyone asking Beyonce to disassociate herself from Lizzo, so why wrestle? You also don't see Beyonce and Lizzo flicking up in a photograph. Like Beyonce saying Lizzo's name in the concert in Renaissance in a song that was already there from months ago. It's not quite the same to going to Lizzo's house and then meditating and sharing a bowl of fruit. People would feel differently about it. And here's the thing, and Kendi, I feel as though you know this. People are itching, clawing, waiting, expecting that Beyonce and Jay-Z will be next in some sort of scandal of this type of proportion. People are looking for it. They're waiting for it. They're like, oh, I know that they have something and they've done something. So, you know, while it is true, you don't see her doing, you know, still being somewhat supportive. You also don't see her flicking it up. You see that she and Nicki Minaj obviously has a problem with the Carters. And I think part of it may stem with they pulled back some of their association when she made her choice in a mate. I don't know that to be fact, but that is what it looks like outside looking in. So I think while we don't say it, I think sometimes people are smart enough, even if they still keep those associations, they do not put them on social media. And that is the difference. And that's what people are looking at. When we come forward, we're going to get into more trending topics and headlines. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
In case somebody tries, don't you so got all money, but she never paid to get inside. Everybody knows she's a late town girl. So if you're looking for a know that she can be tonight.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. An effort is underway in Richmond, Virginia to save what's described as a piece of the fabric of the community. That's what former Virginia Delegate Viola Baskerville said at a rally to save the former Richmond Community Hospital in Jackson Ward. Plans are in place to demolish the 117-year-old building. Baskerville says the hospital staff labored to make sure the African-American community was treated with respect as patients. A former Tuskegee Airman feels honored after a 100th birthday celebration was held over the weekend in Lexington, Kentucky. WKYT reports Glendale Bennett received a Senate resolution in honor of his centennial by Senator Reggie Thomas. Lexington Mayor Linda Gorton gave Bennett the key to the city. Bennett trained with the African-American Airmen in Tuskegee, Alabama during World War II before serving in Europe. Bennett's secret to life is, quote, live good, love everybody, and do the thing that's right in life, end quote. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Why are people saying "Hugh yeah" to Jackson Hewitt? When you switch to Jackson Hewitt, they will beat what you paid last year on tax prep, even if you filed online. Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at KBLA 1580.
Follow the leader.
Are you ready?
The station leading the way with exclusive interviews,
Follow the leader.
stimulating conversation, and intellectual discourse that empowers, enlightens, and informs.
Follow the leader.
Follow the leader at KBLA 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Keep following the leader.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
If you say you care about the community, you have to also care about the climate. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. Pro Football Hall of Famer and urban peace pioneer Jim Brown believed in just that. So he founded the Amera I Can Foundation for Social Change in 1988, focusing on at-risk and high-risk youth in underserved schools and juvenile detention facilities, as well as adult incarceration and reentry initiatives. The core of the Amera I Can program is its 15-chapter life skills curriculum. Mastery of these skills allows individuals to meet their academic potential, conform their behavior to acceptable societal standards, and improve the quality of their lives by equipping them with what they need to confidently and successfully contribute to society. Today, the foundation is led by its president, Monique Brown, who has been actively involved in the organization for more than 25 years. The Amera I Can Foundation continues its work in memory of its founder, actor, philanthropist, and NFL legend Jim Brown. To get involved or make a donation, please visit AmeriICanCommunity.partners. That's AmeriICanCommunity.partners. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Febreze. So my home is also my office, and before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up, then spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la. My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
It's game day at Jim's house, and the spread is impressive.
Mike's already done some damage with the hot wings, and now he's dropping back and going deep for another slice of pizza.
I sure hope he brought the Pepto.
Mike knows the Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief from unexpected stomach upsets. He's no rookie.
The way he's throwing back those nachos, he's the GOAT.
Be ready for game day with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. That is one of the most fire player hater songs ever. Just facts. I love your girl. Like, what do you say to that? We fighting, Andy? But God was just like, yo, I love your girl. She gonna leave with me. What is you saying? It's like that. Oh, the dream. The dream's pen is sickening, you know? And I really liked a great deal of music that he dropped, but that pen game, ridiculous.
Watch the Throne. I'm just saying.
Beyonce, I mean.
Oh, yeah. Which one, Lemonade?
He has a couple of songs on Beyonce. Like, he's been in the pocket with B.
The self-titled Beyonce.
Like, no, he has something on Renaissance. Like, the past few albums. Let me Google really quickly. The Dream and Beyonce songs.
I mean, to the point where you represent Beyonce and Jay-Z at an award show because they're running late. That just, the Dream, bro. You big, homie.
Okay, so here we go right here. Love on Top. Flawless.
Whoa, he did Flawless?
Single Ladies.
Wow.
Right? We know he did Umbrella. He did Obsessed, Mariah Carey.
Oh, that's the one with Gucci, right?
So Why You're So Obsessed With Me, yeah.
Okay. Yep.
So he did Dance For You, Beyonce. He did EXO, Beyonce.
EXO was a fire record.
Right. He did Run the World.
Run the World.
He did Throw It in the Bag.
I mean, that's his song.
Right. With Fab. I forget, he did Touch My Body, Mariah. Let's see what else. He did Blame It, Jamie Foxx. I'm That Girl, Beyonce. America Has a Problem, one of my favorites.
Wow.
Renaissance, Cozy, Pure Honey.
Hey, I think that's enough now.
Right. So, yeah, him and Beyonce have been lockstep. What is that? Energy. He did that too.
Energy, okay.
So, him and B, he's locked in.
Hey.
And that means he's papered up.
If Versus decides to come back somehow, some way, I don't think anybody wants to touch The Dream.
People don't really want to see The Dream. Quietly, The Dream, look.
Get Sean Garrett and Neo.
Maybe they'll
maybe they'll compete, but I don't know. A lot of them Beyonce records.
Man, and I didn't even touch on. He has some Rihanna ones in there and a couple others
and the whole Watch the Throne too.
Right, and then his own stuff. So I don't know. The Dream is. He's one of those ones. Shout out to Kendi. He mentioned when we were talking about Ye, he said, where would Ty Dolla $ign be if he had followed the public's wishes in making Ye persona non grata? Linking up with Ye breathed new life into his career.
Stop.
Did it? We don't even know where the Get Vultures went.
It popped back up on my title.
It popped back up.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, like, and I like Ty Dolla $ign. You know, Ty Dolla $ign is like, I feel this generation's Nate Dogg.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know?
Definitely.
And but I don't even know if Kanye's audience knows who Ty Dolla $ign is. Do you know what I'm saying? So I can't really say what working with you. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. The music was obviously fire. I just wouldn't say that.
But I guess that's probably what Kendi's trying to say too. It's kind of like introducing, you know what I'm saying?
But are they paying attention? I feel like, no disrespect, Kendi, I feel like Ye's fans are really just focused on Ye.
You can make the case on that.
You know, they don't see whatever is outside of it, you know?
And, you know, I listened to the Vultures album. I actually liked the album. And I feel like there's nothing, even though Ty Dolla $ign is like featured on every song on there, I can't say that his performance has been captivating enough to where it's like, yo, let me listen to that particular record because I like how Ty Dolla $ign came.
Or let me go find out some more about this Ty Dolla $ign guy, right? It just sounds like a production, and that's no shade. It's just what I feel. Terry says Hollywood has so many backstabbers who smile and grin in your face.
Facts.
The world does, though.
Facts.
The world does. Like, yes, Hollywood does, but I think that the idea that, you know, when you think about talk shows back in the day, Ricky Lake, Jerry Springer, all of that stuff, those were not celebrities going on there, even though we know some of them were fake. Those were regular people, you know, being backstabbed by their sister, mother, auntie, cousin, friend, significant other, whatever, right? It just looks idealized when we're talking about the world of Hollywood because there's a lot of money, in theory, the thought that comes with it. Brother Alfonso says, Kendi, I get your point about Ty Dolla $ign linking up with Ye, but his career has been projecting upward for a while now. I personally thought he should not have linked up with Ye. I don't feel anything one way or another about the link up. I just don't think that it sifted him into another stratosphere. I think it just kind of was what it was. And Terry says, we don't have to complain about white and other races. It seems like we stab each other. My late grandma called it N-word stuff. Naysayer stuff. You know, listen, every group has it. It just may not manifest itself in the same way. I think obviously we call it out, see it, or more aware of it because that is our culture and socialized. There is white stuff, you know, trailer park stuff. I'm being facetious, but like, you know how we say ghetto or hood stuff. There's, you know, there's all of that no matter which way we turn. I think it just manifests itself differently. And if you aren't intimately aware of the politics of the subcultures, then you may not realize it's happening. You may not even realize it's shade or that they're battling or that they're, you know, going to war. But everybody's fighting a battle. When we come forward, we're going to get into Dame Dash's comments. He is blaming the record labels. He says that he would never knowingly sign someone who is talking about criminal activities in their music, and that the labels are playing with these people, and it's about time for it to get called out. We're going to talk about that more on the other side. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
LADWP is proud to partner with KBLA to share with you how to start the new year without bill worries. We're here to help if you're behind on your bill or need help staying current. Sign up anytime online for Level Pay to set predictable monthly payments throughout the year, including for past due amounts. You can also check out the special extended pay arrangements of up to 48 months to help pay down your bill. If you're a senior or income qualified, you may be eligible for Easy Save to receive discounts and also qualify for free and discounted energy and water saving devices. You can get up to $15,000 for past due water and or sewer bills, and up to $3,000 for electric bills. But you gotta act fast. Funding is limited. You can reduce your past due bills and kick off the year right, because here at LADWP, we're here to help. Visit ladwp.com/cares today and find out more.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Canick, and I'm on your March 5th primary ballot running to represent you on the County Central Committee. I know you just said the County Central what? The County Central Committee. It's an intentionally confusing way to say LA County Democratic Party, but it's the perfect way if you want to keep the status quo. County Central Committee members or delegates set the tone, policy, and vision of your Democratic Party. Far too often, voters skip over this section, and that's why the Democratic Party has fallen out of touch with today's Democrats. Let's change that on Election Day by electing me, Jasmine Cannon. I'm a community advocate, a journalist, and a political activist who has worked at all levels of government. I live in reality, and I understand that we can't keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. I believe the Democratic Party can do more and do better. It's our future, our party. Let's make it better together. You can find out more about me at voteforjasmine.com.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, on low Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
It's game day at Jim's house, and the spread is impressive.
Mike's already done some damage with the hot wings, and now he's dropping back and going deep for another slice of pizza.
I sure hope he brought the Pepto.
Mike knows that Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief from unexpected stomach upsets. He's no rookie.
The way he's throwing back those nachos, he's the GOAT.
Be ready for game day with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So I was sharing, Dame Dash recently did an interview for his YouTube channel, and in it he was discussing the new thing with artists, basically, and it's not new. It's something we've been talking about since the 90s, people putting their real life or real life situations in rap lyrics. But it seems to as of late, be more and more rappers caught up in that, facing jail time, various things, being physically assaulted because of things that they allegedly are putting in their music. And so Dame talked about how he feels that now the labels literally profit not only with the music sales, but the actual death of some of these artists. So
you find that the industry encourages just toxic behavior.
It only exists because of toxic behavior. They take advantage of the dysfunction of our culture. So the more and also this thing, like now you'll sign an artist, and if he dies, you're going to make more money.
More money, yeah.
Because of the insurance. So it's just, you could just tell, like for me, if I see a kid that's making music about that's going to get him killed because he's really doing it, I don't think I'm putting their records out. I'm not going to enable that child. I'm not going to, like when I look at, Young Thug, I'm like, yo, Leon them just made a big check and he's going to jail. They made money off his music. So if they made money off that music and he's in jail for that, then all that money they made off the music should not go to them. Like, how did they get to get all that money and he has to get a jail cell? And they made money off the music that's putting him in jail. I mean, that's just how I look at it from the outside.
But at the same time, you can't really look at it like,
I've been that guy that says, yo, if you're doing this, I'm not putting it out. I've done that.
Who did you do that with?
I'm not going to say they was doing shit that wasn't right.
So I think that there's a lot there. I do think that it is a precarious situation because back in the day, we would probably say it's not fair that these artists don't get to put out their music or are not able to sign deals because of their past. right? That would be something we definitely would defend. They have a right to put out music, we can listen to it, blah, blah, blah. You know, it has almost been a part of the hip hop blueprint to have a criminal record involved in it. And currently, we know that over the past couple of years, hip hop has gotten more and more violent in a lot of ways. But I do feel like the labels have some responsibility. You know, obviously, you're dealing with adults, and you know that these people aren't, you know, beholden by the same rules. And obviously, the crowd that they are going for is not necessarily a politically correct one, but one, look at the heightened environment that we are in. I think that stands out for something. And something interesting I was reading or, you know, observing the other day, a conversation, and someone brought up why there's never been a major Latino hip hop artist that has come out of LA. It would seem like, you know, obviously, with as intertwined here in Los Angeles as hip hop is with our large Mexican community. And, you know, there's a lot of Latinos that are involved in hip hop that are artists. We haven't had one big female or male Latino rapper to come out of hip hop out of the West Side. And it seems strange, like there's some bubbling underground, but it does seem a little odd that we don't have a big one. And the person said, well, you know what that is? Because, and again, this is an assumption and an opinion of someone. They said because inevitably, if you're talking about a Latino hip hop artist, it is much like with some of the rappers that are from the West Coast, like it would involve some gang politics. It potentially could involve some gang politics in signing a Latino rappers. And whereas with regular hip hop, black artists, the assumption is the streets run what's going on inside the jails. With the Latino scene, it's the opposite, and the jails run what happens in the streets. And so therefore, labels are shy of getting into a situation with some of these artists because they don't want to deal with what comes along with them. And I understand that. And there's a period of time with some of our artists that it used to be like that. So having said that, what is wrong with having some responsibility about the type of artists that you sign if you know actively, hey, they're in some street war stuff. Hey, there's some stuff. Somebody, it may not be you, but somebody should understand what's happening in the music. And by that, I mean the coded things, the street things, the youthful things. Somebody should be able to tell you, hey, A, B, and C is in there. Because at some point you might have to answer to it. At some point your artist could put them in a compromising position. And I think that I am for freedom of choice and free will, but I also think that stepping into those things doesn't mean freedom of consequence, freedom of repercussions. And so, you know, it is time to at least say, hey, is that a great idea? Just is it? Because it's a lot of profiting off of death, you know? And completely understanding it's a free will and everyone should be allowed to move as they may. And in theory, the audience dictates what they want to hear. But from your business interests, even, you know, the insurance money aside, do you really want to be caught up in that cycle from a business perspective? I just think it's something that we should consider. Okay, so, you know, Scottie Pippen, this is an interesting story. He is being sued for $250 million, and it's not just him. His brother and ex-wife, Larsa, are also named in this lawsuit. and it is an ex-girlfriend, and she is accusing the former NBA star and his brother of raping her and of Larsa stalking and harassing her for years after the fact. Her name is Shinette Valentine. She's suing Scotty and Larsa for harassment and stalking. She claims that Larsa, Scotty, and Scotty's brother Carl have caused her an immeasurable amount of suffering to the tune of $250. She claims that she and Scotty had an on and off relationship from 1987 to 1993, and that the relationship ended after she was allegedly raped by Pippen and his brother. The alleged assault reportedly led to the birth of her son, Devontae Pippen, and he unfortunately was killed in 2011. So she is claiming that Scotty has used his fame as an NBA star to stalk, harass, and torment her, and it's caused her severe emotional and mental issues, that when she tried to file a police report against he and his brother, but that Pippen had connections with the local, state, and federal employees to cancel it, and used his medical connections to falsify her reports and portray her as mentally ill. And she said that him stalking her has led to her losing employment opportunities and housing. This isn't the first time that she sued Scotty. She sued him in 2019 for $10,000, the maximum allowed in small claims court at that time, over expenses collected during their relationship. She claimed that that amount was the amount spent on a hotel, car, gas, food, parking, etc. to see Pippen when he was on road games, and he promised to reimburse her back in the day. And the relationship was during Scotty's first marriage to his wife, Karen McCullum, which lasted from 88 to 90. So, I am not sure if this woman is in her sound mind. I'm not going to say that she isn't, but there are things that sound suspicious. So I hope that she gets whatever justice that she believes she's looking for, if it is deserved, and that it is resolved amicably. Listen, thanks VIPs for locking in. Tomorrow we will have more trending topics and headlines to discuss. We're going to get into that Jerry Jones story about his DNA test and the scare that social media felt when a reference to one of our favorite couples was made in their years of marriage, but some people thought they were hinting at divorce. So we'll get into all of that tomorrow. Make sure you are back here 9 p.m. Pacific time, locked in. On the other side, the best of KBLA. You have an amazing night. Thanks for clocking in.
Beat it all day, beat it all night. I be on Gorilla going Kimbo Slice. I be with the killers, need to pay your fines. Try me once, you gon' pay with your life. All these dimes on me, wish your set. Throw it up. Heard you got a man, but he ain't like us. Little bitty bands ain't doing enough. No, it's all on me. This might make you fall in love. Telling your friends you found the one. And I'm like, who? And I'm like, what? All this money on the floor. 10 racks, throw it up, watch how I do it. Make a drop to a toast.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest.